It's been a minute since I reacted to or even saw anything to do with WWE 2K22, to be honest. Like, everything you're going to see in this video, I'm seeing for the first time for myself as well. So, with that in mind, let's do some more reacting to what's coming up on WWE 2K22, because I'm super excited about this game. So let's get this shirt on the road. And let's watch the Booyaka gameplay trailer, which was released a while ago. I'm not sure exactly when. So Ray featuring heavily, of course. It looks like a Sasha Banks. Yep, does a bit. Look at new Roman Reigns model. Very nice. Umberto. A frog splash. A Drew. 619, was that Dolph? And then we've seen The Rock, Becky, Austin, Asuka, Big E, Brock with the beard and the top knot. There's Riddle. Charlotte looks, oh my god. Okay, first actual criticism I would say here. What is that? Charlotte looks awful. So Charlotte this year is Dana Brooke, which is a throwback to, was it 2K17 or 18? Dana Brooke's character model was awful. Like, it was terrifying. Can't remember which game it was, but looks like Charlotte's this year's recipient of that award, unless they fix her up quick. That looks awful. Ricochet, Seth, freaking Rollins. There's Shinsuke, there's a Jey Uso, there's a Jimmy Uso, I think that was a Kofi, was it? There's a Bayley. Oh, the first Bayley without a ponytail. Nice Spanish fly. Ladder climbing animation. AJ climbing, there's AJ. That face. Here he is. Big man himself. Backstage brawl, there's Bobby Lashley disarming a Drew. There's Drew disarming a Bobby. What weapon was that? Was that... Oh, there's Owens. Oh. Rip. Alexa Bliss and Rhea Ripley confirmed. Lots of character models being shown here. Sami Zayn. There's Damien Priest, there's Sheamus, there's Edge. Was that... Hang on. That all went a little bit fast on me. Let's go back a little bit. No. Yeah. Back to here. Damien Priest and Sheamus. Edge and Seth. Eddie Guerrero. God, they skipped past that quickly, didn't they? Brock and Drew we've seen. There's Becky and Asuka. It. There's Sasha and Bayley again. Hits. There's Reigns and Big E. Different. Looking pretty good so far, but again, it's just a trailer. Trailers can make anything look good. That's a cool pre-order though. That is definitely a cool pre-order. Okay, this is actually the next thing I wanted to watch. So I think we'll just do this. We'll just jump straight into it. Let's just jump right into it. Let's full screen that again.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Lionel Jinx. I am the creative director of the WWE 2K franchise. And this time I'm not alone, y'all. I've got my homie with me. She is going to be with me along this journey, this ride. Christina, please introduce yourself.
Hey y'all, I am Christina DM Fam, art producer on WWE 2K22.
So you're responsible for Charlotte's
welcome
face.
to the inaugural episode of Ringside Report, brought to y'all by the teams at 2K and Visual
Oh
Concepts.
god, that missed.
We're here to provide regular updates and deep dives into the many areas and features of WWE 2K22.
And this year we're introducing the WWE 2K22 Ringside Reports, and you'll hear from Lionel and myself beginning now, through the game's launch in March, and after for the latest on DLC, patches, and other updates. And we're not gonna be taking this ride alone, because we're bringing the homies Lionel and myself
Who did you drop that leg on?
now, through the game's launch in March, and after for the latest on DLC, patches, and other updates.
Bobby Roode. Confirmed.
And we're not gonna be taking this ride alone, because we're bringing the homies from the dev team with us. So
Come on, bring them on, bring them on.
But before we dive into that, let's kick it off with a very quick conversation about visuals, because let's be real, if y'all take a look at WWE 2K22, you might see some massive differences from previous cycles. And this is the best looking game yet. Just a little
pretty.
bit.
It's so pretty.
Lionel, can you talk about how the teams approach production differently this time around, starting with the superstars?
So the superstars, you know, in any WWE game are the backbone of the game, right? And so we have to make sure that we are doing our absolute best on representing every superstar to the best of our ability. And in order for us to do that, we piggybacked on the same technology that you guys saw in NBA 2K22, where, you know, you look at their players and
you know, that's supposed to be photorealistic. That's one of the worst models I've seen.
22, where, you know,
actually,
you look at
you can tell who it is. It doesn't look great,
players,
does it?
Players and the details.
Goldberg looks good.
Look amazing, and so
that looks like
we shared
real
that
video
same technology and brought that
was great.
into WWE 2K22, like the cross polarization scans, improved hair. Just to me, the amazing amount of detail that
Bianca looks pretty good in this. Like, that's a pretty good character model.
Seeing our superstars is unparalleled for us.
Yeah, and also the teams have overhauled the lighting engine, and there's an all-new VFX engine as well.
Yeah, so, you know, lighting is everything, right? So, like, all of these details and
Cesaro, that looks good.
everything that we poured into our superstars.
Damien Priest looks pretty decent. Naomi looks alright.
They weren't lit properly, right?
Looks a bit janky. Sheamus looks like a video game character. He's the first one that really does it.
Well,
not the first one, but he almost looks like he should be in All Stars. He looks very caricature-y.
And so, if you
in a weird way
take a look at this version of the game,
AJ looks pretty good.
Yeah, if
I could get a still of him.
It looks like a broadcast. It looks photorealistic at times, and a lot of that
is that gameplay. That's actually really good looking. You can tell it is because the ref's really basic and the crowd is, but yeah, Ray looks great there, and he's fighting Unmasked Kane confirmed, by the way.
Due to lighting.
And before I forget, there was also a ton of new and improved championships as well. And one of my personal favorites, mainly because it's the team I work with most closely, is the Environments team. There are over 55 playable arenas, and we also have virtual crowd boards in the game as well, so you might see some familiar faces.
Oh yeah, not my ugly mug.
All right, we know what y'all been waiting for, so we have some folks in the waiting room. I'm gonna go ahead and invite all of them in. So, y'all, we're so excited today because y'all know who we got. Please welcome the gameplay leadership team, principal designer Jason Vandiver, senior designer Derek Donahue, and senior producer Jonathan Rivera. Y'all, this is extremely exciting, and thank you so much for joining us for the first episode of Ringside Report. Okay, so I don't want to linger any longer.
What you hiding, eh?
Have been asking for gameplay for a very, very long time.
And who doesn't show the face on videos? God.
Without further ado, the moment y'all been waiting for, we are going to show you a 1v1 match between Rey Mysterio and Damian Priest. So let's roll the footage.
Oh wow, we're just gonna watch a whole match.
At this point, one of the things we very intentionally called out to our fan base is that we have a redesigned gameplay experience. And starting with Jason, can you talk about what that means to you and how gameplay hits different?
In WWE 2K22, we have a completely new animation system. This system has allowed us to greatly improve the look and the feel of the characters. Basically, everything from the way the characters move and they traverse through the world to how they align with each other during attacks has been completely overhauled and redone. Players are going to notice a significant difference the moment they pick up the controller. The characters are way more responsive than they've ever been. You no longer feel like you're fighting to control your character, to get them into position to do what you want them to do. Strikes, dives, springboards, they all connect more precisely. And that's also something that we really struggled with and took to heart and tried to resolve this year. Another key change that we've made to the game engine this year is our physics system. While the series has always had Havoc to some degree, it was primarily used for only hair and clock simulation. For 2K22, we've completely integrated Havoc into gameplay, which has allowed us to introduce things like breakable props, The kendo stick starts to fray the more you use it.
Oh,
Tables,
wow.
they break
That's
more
cool.
dynamically. The chair even breaks. And even elements within the environment itself are
That's
now
nice.
dynamically breaking, such as like the corner barricade, instead of relying on a canned sequence animation. It's a really
Oh,
big change
okay.
and has helped to make the entire gameplay experience feel more dynamic.
Awesome.
Is that supposed to be off
Derek,
the
same
bottom
question.
rope?
So for me, when we
Really big change and
What's Damien
has
Priest
helped to
moonsault
make
here?
the entire gameplay experience feel more dynamic.
That was weird. I mean,
Awesome.
only the bottom rope
Derek,
acknowledged
same
it,
question.
so I guess.
So for me, when we sat down to figure out how we were going to change gameplay for 2K22, one of the biggest things that we put as a priority was making sure the game is fun in a pick up and play kind of way. I want to be able to hand the controller to my friend who doesn't know anything about WWE, and I want them to still be able to have a good time and be able to just kind of hop in with me. So we made sure that with our controls redesign, all of the core actions are something you can discover just by button mashing. You should be able to basically play through a match without having known anything beforehand. But another big priority for us with that is making sure we're not, smoothing over a lot of the details that returning fans like. So all of the high level of control that you expect to have with your character, all of the high degree of customization you expect, all of that still remains.
Oh, that was fluid. That was
Okay,
nice.
so you've mentioned new controls and mechanics. Combat itself is centered around 3 inputs: light attacks, heavy attacks, and grapples. So in this cycle specifically, what do those terms mean?
So light attacks, those are your quick strikes, the fastest attacks in the game. Heavy attacks, those are kind of like strong strikes from previous years. They're bigger, slower strikes, but they deal more damage. And then finally, grapples, those are where some of the bigger changes come into play. So you press the grapple button once to lock up with your opponent, but then from there you can press light, you can press heavy. Those will do your light and heavy grapples, but there's all sorts of other options. Irish whips, drag, carry, all of those things come from the grapple state. So once you grapple your opponent, you have a lot of possibilities opened up to you.
Okay, and I want to toss this over to Jonathan too. So opening up these possibilities, can you talk about some of the combo options that players can dive into?
Yeah, sure. I love how simple and engaging our new dynamic combo system feels. I don't need to memorize every superstar's moveset, but instead I practice the timing of my inputs in order to execute combos. Light attacks allow me to branch into a combo, and when I learn that light, heavy grab executes that move, I can take that and apply it to anybody I play with. I love the exploration that our game provides to encourage the user to play with many different superstars and then choose whichever one is better suited for them. And if you don't like the combos that we assign, we also support customizing combos. I'm personally really excited to see what cool combos our community creates.
Okay, very quickly, I want to
Create
take
a
back to one
combo.
point that Derek touched on earlier, which was about the accessibility of this game and being able to just pick it up and play. And I want to call this out mainly because I myself am a much newer player to WWE 2K. So for me, picking up and playing has been the whole experience. The controls are super easy to learn, and while my own habits fall back on button mashing the controller, even though we have that, I enjoy having to be very strategic and intentional about how I'm approaching this game, especially when it comes to the timing of things like reversals or finishers. So I can definitely attest to, hey, if you're feeling intimidated by this, please don't. Pick it up, try it out. You'll have such a blast. But also, if you're a vet and you've been playing this for a long time, can y'all talk about how vets can better show off their moves and what that means for the overall strategy of their experience?
Oh, that was
So a lot of the
fluid, that
strategy
counter.
for our game comes with the new defensive options that we've added this year. So one of the biggest examples is breakers. Instead of reversals being the only tool for countering your opponent's attacks, grapples and combos actually don't use reversals. Instead, you counter them with a breaker. So when you're doing a grapple or a combo on your opponent, they can counter that attack by pressing the same light, heavy, or grapple input against you. So those moves are countered with breakers. Everything else is countered with a reversal. So knowing what kind of attack you expect your opponent to perform can already prime you to know how you want to counter it. So there's already a mind game with that level. Then you have blocking, which is all new. If you hold down the reversal button, you enter a blocking stance, and that lets you withstand light, heavy, and running attacks. And then you can counterattack faster than your opponent can after blocking. You can also dodge with the right bumper, so you can kind of choose a direction and get out of the way really quickly if you time your dodge correctly, but it's higher risk than a block. And then when you're on the ground, you also can button mash to get up faster, or you can press right bumper to do a quick get up at the cost of some resource. So when you have all of those defensive options available to you, it makes when you're on defense, that's a lot more strategic, but also when you're on offense, you have to be careful with how you want to attack your opponent so that they don't counter you.
Okay.
So our community has been speculating about the HUD and like guessing like what, these little glowing meters mean and all this stuff. Jonathan, I'm gonna let you be the first to break this.
That's weird. They are so in my head because I was literally looking at that then, and I was about to say out loud, "I wonder what like the different things are." So let's tell us
and break the news, and let's dive into the HUD and give the community some clarity here.
So our goal was to create a HUD that strips down all unnecessary aspects and simply gives the user the information that they need without distracting the user from the in-game action. So at the very top, you'll have the vitality meter, and this is basically your health bar. Below that, you'll find a special meter, which is a resource you want to spend to perform signatures, paybacks, or defensive action.
Okay.
Finally, at the bottom is your finisher meter, where you can store up to 3 stocks.
So there's one thing that's missing that I think a lot of people are like, where's the reverse stock? Can you talk a little bit more about like, the changes we made there?
I was literally thinking that.
Yeah, obviously the biggest change that we made was removing the reversal stock from the HUD. We felt that 2K20's matches came down to how the users manage their reversal stock. We wanted to bring a bit more skill to a match by giving the users unlimited reversals, making them a little bit more difficult to execute.
That's a good
In
balance.
our internal matches with 2K22, we get wild swings and back and forth and a bunch of oh-so-close moments that we really feel make the match memorable. And in addition to that, we added a new stun meter that shows up on the characters when it's close to being filled. So we're really excited to show off our new HUD and for our users to play with all of the new additions and our streamlined approach.
Cool. Like one of the things that, at the end of the match where I'm like, previous years or, iterations, once you basically knew once your opponent didn't have any reversal stock, all you had to do was hit your Sega finisher, match was over. That's not the case anymore, right? Like someone can just pull out like a reversal and there's this back and forth. And so Derek, can you talk about the how strategy is incorporated into that part of this new mechanic?
Yeah, so with reversals no longer being on a limit, that opens up a lot of possibilities for how your opponent can counter you, right? Like they could always pull a reversal out, or if you're using combos and grapples, they could hit you with a breaker. But the stun meter that Jonathan mentioned earlier, that's one of your biggest tools for making sure that you can pull off your biggest moves without getting countered. So lighter attacks, while they don't do as much damage to the vitality of the opponent, they're better at filling your opponent's stun. And if you can get their stun meter filled, that's your opportunity to perform an attack without the risk of getting a reversal or a breaker.
Button mashing is back, y'all. Like I love it. It creates a whole new level of like intensity in those tight matches. And like I gotta practice my finger strength on that just so I can.
Okay, I will say I do like. He's gonna tell us in a second why he's practicing his finger strength, guys. No, I do like having limited reversals, but I do agree with what they said that basically you just wear out the reversals and then you're safe to hit a finisher. So I get the other side of it. Well, I'm gonna withhold judgment on that until I've played the game. Basically, I do think unlimited reversals was dangerous, but that was in the old system. With this new system, that's more about predicting your opponent. Maybe it's gonna be okay. We'll see.
Beat everyone down when this game goes online.
That was nice. This has all looked very nice so far. Very slow count, but I think they addressed that.
We can go on and on, but unfortunately we're out of time. So to close out,
oh wow, really?
Now that we're nearing the end of production, what are y'all looking forward to most for the game, whether for your own experience or with players specifically? Let's start with Jason, then Derek, then Jonathan.
I'm really looking forward to seeing how My Rise turns out. We've been working so hard on gameplay that haven't really been able to look at the rest of the game. Those guys have been really working to deliver an awesome story this year, and from everything I've seen, they're ready to deliver.
You two, get in the ring.
For me, it's the
Oh,
backstage.
okay, hang on. We got old man Shawn Michaels in the game. And is that Beth? That's Beth Phoenix, right? God, old man Shawn Michaels looks real sad. Real sad. I'm guessing these are just like this. One of them will be a creator wrestler, let's say this one, and one of them will be like an antagonist specific to my rise, I would think. But yeah, Beth Phoenix is in as a coach. Took me a second to recognise her. No, I'm not the best character model ever, but wow, Shawn Michaels. I've been generous with his hairline.
For me, it's the backstage, the completely redesigned backstage that I think people have only seen a small peek of. There's a lot of really cool stuff going back there, especially with the verticality.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Was that cutscene or was that...
I think people have only seen a small peek of. There's a lot of really cool stuff going back there, especially with the verticality.
Is that Santos Escobar? Is that Austin Theory? I'm not sure. But that's two people getting flung off.
And for me,
that must be a cutscene,
I'm
right?
super excited to see Rey Mysterio in our showcase mode, playing some classic matches that were recreated for our...
That looks so
WWE
nice.
2K22.
I know it's a
So I
cutscene,
think
but it still
people are
looks
gonna
so
be really
nice.
excited about that.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much for joining us for the first Ringside Report ever for this
That's
cycle.
messed up. You didn't even ask me, Christina, like what I'm looking forward to. That's just messed up. It's gonna leave me
Fine.
out.
We'll
That's
take it
sad.
back. We'll take it back. All right, rewind. Lionel, what are you most excited for?
Like, it's everything, right? Like, you know, I've been fortunate enough to like have my hand in every single cookie jar, and as you can tell, like this COVID weight ain't going away anytime soon. But yeah, like it's seeing what we're doing on the gameplay side and how that bleeds into universe and how it bleeds into my rise and my GM, my faction. Like we've done so much in the time that we have, and I'm just super excited for everyone to get their hands on with it and just have fun. Like again, like just practice now, practice your thumb strength because you're gonna need it.
Your thumb strength already.
Do thumb exercises, little thumb push-ups.
Y'all, so that again, that wraps it for our first Ringside Report. Thank you to Jason Vandiver, Derek Donahue, and Jonathan Rivera for joining us.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Oh my God.
Was I supposed to?
You committed to the bit.
Leave?
No, I
supposed
think
to
that
leave?
was
Okay, so once again, for real this time, thank you to Jason, Derek, and Jonathan for joining us. And thank you to all of you, the player community, for tuning in for our first Ringside Report. We are so excited to release this game, and we can't wait for y'all to get your hands on it.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us, and thank you all for tuning in. We will talk to you all soon. And in the meantime, check us out on social media at WWE Games.
Okay, bye.
Peace.
Okay, wow. So a lot to take apart there, but the main thing was just how nice most of that looked. You know, like I know they're not going to necessarily show us bugs and glitches. You know, if there was one, they'd probably redo the match or whatever. Or it wasn't a full bell-to-bell match, so they could have always just cut it out. But compared with the state of 2K20 when it first came out, this looks very promising. And like they said, it looks really good. That Edge, where was Edge? Goldberg looked amazing, but where? There, Edge. Can we look at Edge? Like, that's insane. That's so good. And Goldberg, I know Goldberg's a more basic character model, but look at that, looks like a photo of Goldberg. That's so impressive, like genuinely. So yeah, I mean, I'm not just a graphics guy. In fact, I'd say it's one of the least important things about a game to me, but if they're going to shoot for realism graphics, they've got to hit it, and they have, like, with most of the people. I think Charlotte looks terrible, Beth didn't look amazing in that cutscene, Booker T didn't look great, but overall, I would say a job well done so far. Interesting thing about, having more damage to weapons, like a kendo stick that breaks over time, they mentioned. table spots maybe being a bit more dynamic. The ringside barrier being able to be put through, not just through an OMG move. And the changes to the system, I do believe, have been made with the best intentions possible. So I'll just have to hope they've got it right at this point. But I think I was gonna go through everything that I've missed so far, but I think I'm gonna leave it here and come back, because there's a lot, and this has already been like, well, I've watched at least 20 minutes worth of video, so it's probably been nearly half an hour video now. This I don't know how much I'm gonna crop out when nothing happens. I don't know, but I might just do this live to tape. Who knows? You know, because you're watching it and you've watched it so far. I don't know though, so you know before I do, kind of. Anyway, waffle. Leave a like if you're hyped for this game, if you enjoyed this this little watch through of some of the stuff that they've sent out. Let me know in the comments what you're most excited for. If there's anything that you're a bit concerned about, you know, feel free as well. Let's not make it super negative though. Let's try and have some balance. And subscribe if you're new here, because I do the wrestling content, be it real wrestling, wrestling games, you know, real wrestling. You know what I mean? Wrestling with real people as opposed to wrestling with lumps of pixels in a video game. But yeah, drop me a sub, it'd be greatly appreciated. But for now, all I have left to say is thank you very much for watching. As always, I've been EBEZA, you've been amazing, and I will see you next time.